At family gathering, my sister posted a video teaching my kids about charity. Unlike some parents, I raised them right. In the video, her kids gave their old toys to poor kids. Those poor kids, mine. I didn't yell. I just drove home. The next day, I put on hold the $6,000 family vacation I'd booked for spring break. By morning, I knew something was off the second my sister, Dana, said, "Everybody come into the living room. Quick, I want to film something." It was supposed to be a normal Sunday get-together at my mom's house. Burgers, paper plates, kids running through the hallway like tiny tornadoes. The usual. My kids were sitting on the rug, building a lopsided tower with plastic blocks. My son, Leo, was 10 and careful with everything. My daughter, Emmy, was 7 and always trying to make people smile, even when they didn't deserve it. Dana's kids were lined up like a little performance troupe. Her oldest, Braden, was holding a big plastic bin full of toys. Her middle kid had a ring light plugged into the wall. Her youngest was already whining because she wanted to press the record button. Dana smoothed her hair, checked the camera angle, and put on this bright, sugary voice that didn't belong to her. "Okay," she sang, "teaching my kids about charity. Unlike some parents, I raised them right." She said it loud enough for the room to hear. My throat tightened. I didn't even look at my mom because I already knew she'd be pretending she didn't hear it. Dana crouched near the bin and pointed at the toys. "These are the old ones you guys don't even play with anymore," she told her kids. "And we're giving them to who?" Her kids chimed in like they'd rehearsed it in the car. "Poor kids." Dana beamed at the camera. "That's right, poor kids. Because we're grateful, and we share, and we don't take what we have for granted." Then she turned the camera slightly and panned it right onto Leo and Emmy. "Say hi, you too," she said, still in that bright voice. "Come over here. Sit closer so they can see who we're helping." Leo froze. Emmy looked up at me, confused. Her hands were still on the blocks, but she'd stopped building. I felt heat climb up my neck. My hands went cold. I wanted to say, "Stop filming my kids." I wanted to say, "What is wrong with you?" I wanted to grab the phone and put it face down on the counter. But the whole room had that weird, heavy silence. My dad had his eyes on the TV, pretending it was the most interesting thing in the world. My mom was standing by the kitchen doorway with her arms crossed. Watching like this was entertainment. Dana's husband, Kyle, actually smirked. Like it was funny. Dana handed Braden a toy truck with one missing wheel. "Tell them why you're giving it away," she prompted. Braden shrugged and said, "Because they don't have money for toys." Dana laughed, delighted. "Honesty. I love it." Emmy's face went red. Not crying red. Embarrassed red. The kind kids get when they're trying not to let anyone see how much something hurts. Leo's jaw clenched so tight I could see the muscle jump at his cheek. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just stared at that toy truck like it was radioactive. Dana pointed at Emmy. "You like dolls, right? Here," she said, and shoved a doll into Emmy's hands. It was scuffed, hair chopped in uneven chunks, one eye slightly clouded. Emmy held it like she didn't know what to do with it. Dana leaned closer to the camera. "Look at that," she said. "It feels good to give. My kids don't eat brand new things all the time. We're teaching values." Then, like she couldn't help herself, she added, "Some people just teach excuses." My mom let out a little laugh. Not loud, just enough. That was the moment I felt something inside me go very still. I didn't yell. I didn't make a speech. I just stood up, walked over, and put my hand gently on Emmy's shoulder. "Hey," I said softly to my kids, not to anyone else. "Grab your jackets." Dana blinked like she couldn't believe I was interrupting her little show. "Greg," she said, still smiling, "don't be dramatic. It's a sweet moment." Leo stood up without looking at her. Emmy set the doll down on the rug like it burned her hands. I nodded once. "We're heading out." Dana's smile twitched. "Seriously? Over a video?" I didn't answer, because if I answered, I was going to say something that would echo in my kids' heads later. Leo went to the hallway and got Emmy's coat. He helped her with the zipper like he'd done 100 times. Emmy kept her eyes down, like she was trying to disappear into the carpet. As we walked past the living room, I heard Dana say, loud enough for the camera, "Sometimes people can't handle being reminded how lucky they are." My mom didn't stop her. My dad didn't stop her. No one did. I took my kids out to my car, buckled them in, and drove home in silence. The whole ride, Emmy stared out the window. Leo stared straight ahead. About 10 minutes from home, Emmy finally whispered, "Dad?" "Yeah, kiddo. Are we poor?" I felt like I'd been punched. I kept my voice steady. "No, we're not poor." But she said something cruel. I told her. And she said it for attention. Leo's voice came out flat. She said it because she wanted people to laugh. I didn't correct him, because he was right. When we got home, I made grilled cheese and cut into triangles the way Emmy liked. Leo didn't eat much. Emmy picked at her plate like she didn't want to take up space in the world. After they went to bed, I sat at my kitchen table and stared at my phone. I'm Gregory. I'm 38. I drive a taxi in a mid-sized city where the winters are long and the tips are hit or miss. I wasn't ashamed of my job. I've met every kind of person you can imagine behind the wheel. I've worked nights, holidays, snowstorms, you name it. Their mom, my ex-wife, left when Emmy was still in diapers. No dramatic story. Just one day, she was tired of this life and decided she wanted a different one. I ended up with full custody and a small child support payment that showed up when it felt like it. For years, I told myself my family made up for what my kids didn't have. That grandma's house was warm. That cousins mattered. That blood meant something. But blood didn't mean much when your sister could label your children as a charity project for social media. And the worst part was this wasn't the first time. It was just the first time she filmed it. Dana had been subtly taking swings at me for years. When Leo was 6, Dana gave all the cousins matching jerseys for Christmas and handed Leo a generic hoodie 2 sizes too big. I didn't know his size, she'd said, even though she saw him every month. When Emmy was 5, Dana hosted a kids' summer day and told me, last minute, that Emmy might be too little for the activities. Then I saw photos later of Emmy's cousin, same age, covered in glitter at the exact same table. When Leo made the school honor roll, my mom said, "That's nice," and changed the subject to Dana's kid making a goal in soccer. Little things, constant things. And I kept swallowing it because I didn't want to be the dad who creates drama. I didn't want to give my kids another broken thing. The other part one swallowed was the money. Because my family didn't just see me as the quiet one who drove a taxi. They saw me as the one who would fix it. It started small. A borrow for a bill. A quick help with groceries. A "can you spot us until Friday?" They became normal. I paid my mom's property tax the year her escrow got messed up. $2,300 gone in one click. I cover my dad's new tires when his truck failed inspection. $780. I helped Dana with a temporary daycare gap. That temporary gap lasted 4 months at $250 a week until I finally said I couldn't do it anymore. I paid for Braden's summer camp because Dana couldn't let him miss out. $1,200. I covered Kyle's work tools because he needed them to keep earning. $900. Whenever I hesitated, they'd say the same lines. "It's family. You'll understand when you're older. You're good with money." The funniest part is I wasn't good with money. I was just good at going without. I'd pick up an extra airport run at 4 a.m. instead of buying new shoes. I'd take a late-night call across town instead of taking a day off when I had the flu. Because every time I tried to build something stable, someone in my family acted like I was their emergency fund. And then a few months ago, Dana floated the big idea. A family vacation, she said. Spring break. All of us. The kids would love it. My mom did that hopeful little sigh she uses when she wants something but doesn't want to ask. Dana looked at me like she already knew the answer. "Greg, you're so good at organizing. You should book it." I should have laughed. I should have said no. Instead, I pictured Leo and Emmy on a beach. I pictured them laughing with cousins, feeling like they belonged somewhere. So I booked it. A spring break rental big enough for everyone. I put down the deposit, paid the fees, reserved the dates. $6,000. I didn't tell anyone how long it took me to stack that money. How many late-night runs. How many skip takeout nights. How many times I told my kids, "Not this week," when they wanted something small. I just booked it, because that's what I do. And Dana still had the nerve to call my kids poor kids on camera. That night, after the kids were asleep, I opened my laptop. The rental confirmation email was right there in my inbox. I stared at the total like it was a joke. Then I clicked the number for customer support. My hands weren't shaking anymore. I felt calm in this strange, exhausted way, like my body had finally decided it was done begging. A woman answered. "Thank you for calling. How can I help you?" I gave her my reservation number. "I need to put this booking on hold," I said. "I'm not canceling today. I want it paused." She explained the options. A hold meant the dates would be released if I didn't confirm within a certain window. The deposit would sit as credit pending review, minus a small processing fee. I listened carefully, like I listen when a passenger gives me a complicated address. "Okay," I said. "Do it." She asked for confirmation. I gave it. Then she said the words that mattered. "You'll receive an email confirming the hold." A minute later, my phone buzzed. The email came through. Reservation status, on hold. I stared at it until my eyes burned. No big speech. No family group chat. No public revenge. Just one calm decision. I wasn't going to fund a family vacation for people who humiliated my kids for likes. I closed the laptop and went to bed. For the first time in a long time, I slept through the night. By morning, my phone looked like it had been attacked. 9 missed calls from my mom. 6 from Dana. 3 for Kyle. And 1 from my aunt, Dana's favorite messenger, when she wanted pressure without getting her own hands dirty. I didn't answer any of them. I got the kids ready for school like it was a normal Monday. Emmy wanted a different shirt than usual, something with a bright rainbow on it, like she needed armor. Leo ate his cereal quietly and said, "Are we still going on spring break?" I paused. I didn't want to lie. "Not that trip," I said. His eyes flicked up to mine. Because of yesterday. Because of yesterday, I confirmed. Emmy's spoon stopped halfway to her mouth. "Did we do something wrong?" "No," I said immediately. "You did nothing wrong." I crouched beside her chair and looked her in the eyes. "Listen to me. You two are not Charity. You're my kids. Anyone who treats you like a joke doesn't get rewarded with our time or our money." Emmy's eyes got shiny, but she didn't cry. She just nodded, like she was filing it away somewhere safe. Leo's shoulders loosened a little, like he'd been holding tension all night and didn't realize. After I dropped them off, I drove my morning shift. I tried to focus on the roads, the traffic, the small talk with passengers. But my phone kept buzzing in the cup holder, lighting up with names that suddenly felt like strangers. Around noon, I finally picked up my mom's call. Not because I missed her, because I didn't want her showing up at my kids' school. "Gregory," she snapped. "What did you do?" "I put the vacation booking on hold," I said. Silence for half a second. Then her voice sharpened. "You can't do that. The kids are excited. Dana already bought outfits." I almost laughed. Outfits? Like that mattered more than my daughter's face yesterday. "I can," I said. And I did. My mom went straight into the script. Dana would just try to teach her kids to be grateful. "You always take things the wrong way." I stayed calm. She called my kids poor. On camera. She didn't mean. She filmed them. I cut in. She posted it. My mom exhaled hard. "So you're punishing everyone." "I'm not punishing anyone," I said. "I'm not paying for vacation." "That's the same thing," she shot back. "No," I said, keeping my voice even. "It's a boundary." My mom's voice went softer, which meant she was switching tactics. "Honey, you've always been sensitive about money." There it was. The little jab. I gripped the steering wheel and watched the road. "It's not about money. It's about respect." My mom sighed like I was a stubborn child. "If you cancel this, you'll embarrass your sister." I felt my mouth go dry. "Good," I said quietly. "Maybe she'll learn what embarrassment feels like." My mom gasped like I'd sworn at her. "Gregory, I'm done," I said. "I'm not discussing this. The trip is on hold." That's it. Then I hung up. I pulled into a gas station parking lot and sat there for a minute, breathing slowly. My chest felt tight, but it wasn't fear. It was something else. Relief. 2 hours later, Dana texted me. "Wow, so you're really doing this? Over a video?" Then another. "My kids were being kind. You're twisting it." Then, "If you're struggling, just say that. Don't take it out on everyone." That one made my vision blur for a second. Not because I was sad, because I couldn't believe how predictable she was. I didn't respond. By the time I got home, Kyle had left a voicemail. He sounded angry, but underneath it, I heard something else. Panic. "Greg, this is messed up," he said. "We already requested time off." Dana told the kids. "We already We already put some stuff on a card because we thought the trip was set. They'd spent money they didn't have because they assumed I would cover the big costs like always. And somehow I was the villain for not doing it this time. That evening, my cousin Marissa stopped by. She was the only one on my mom's side who ever acted like a real person. She brought a bag of oranges and sat at my kitchen table like she belonged there. "I saw the video," she said quietly. I didn't answer right away. I just poured her a glass of water. Marissa shook her head. "Greg, I'm sorry. That was wrong." I stared down at the table. My kid asked if she was poor. Marissa's face tightened. "I swear to you, if I'd been there, I would have taken the phone out of Dana's hand." I believed her. That's why I finally said it out loud. "I put the vacation on hold." Marissa nodded slowly, like she'd expected it. "Good." I blinked. "You're not going to tell me I'm overreacting?" She snorted. "Please. Dana's been using you like a free ATM for years." I didn't argue, because there was nothing to argue. Marissa leaned forward. "Are you okay?" I hesitated, then said the truth. "I feel weirdly calm." Marissa gave me a small smile. "That's what it feels like when you stop carrying somebody else's entitlement." The next 2 days were pure noise. Dana posted vague quotes on social media about toxic people and boundaries that go both ways. My mom texted me paragraphs about how family doesn't turn on family. My dad sent one message, which was rare. "Call me." I didn't. On Wednesday morning, Dana showed up at my apartment complex. I saw her car from the window while I was packing lunches. Leo spotted it too. He went still. Emmy whispered, "Is she mad?" "Stay inside." I told them. "I'll handle it." Dana didn't knock politely. She pounded like she was the landlord. When I opened the door, she stood there with her phone in hand like it was a weapon. "Are you serious?" she demanded. "You put on hold? You humiliated me." I kept my voice calm. "You humiliated my kids." Dana rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, Greg. It was a joke." "It wasn't funny," I said. She lifted her phone. "People loved it. They thought it was sweet. You're the only one making it ugly." I looked at her. Really looked. "Take the video down," I said. Dana scoffed. "No, it's my page." "Okay," I said. "Then the trip stays on hold." Her mouth opened, then closed. She hadn't expected me to be so steady. "You can't do that," she said again, but her voice cracked. I shrugged once. "I already did." Dana's face twisted. "So what now? You're just going to ruin spring break for everyone." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I said one simple sentence. "I won't fund a family that treats my kids like a charity prop." Dana stared at me like she couldn't process that I meant it. Then she did what she always does when she doesn't get her way. She tried guilt. "Mom's been crying," she said. "Dad says you're being stubborn. The kids are asking questions." I stayed calm. "Good. Answer them honestly." Dana's eyes narrowed. "You think you're some hero now?" "No," I said. "I'm just a dad." Behind me, I heard Emmy's small footsteps. I turned and saw her peeking around the hallway corner, hugging her stuffed rabbit tight. Dana saw her too. For 1 second, Dana's face softened. Just a flicker, like she remembered Emmy was a child. Then her pride snapped back into place. She pointed her phone toward Emmy. "See," she said loudly. "This is what I'm talking about. He's teaching them to feel sorry for themselves." That was it. Not yelling, not screaming, just done. I stepped out onto the walkway and pulled my door mostly closed behind me so my kids wouldn't hear every word. "You're leaving," I said. Dana blinked. "Excuse me?" "I'm not having this conversation in front of them," I said. "Go home." She scoffed. "You can't tell me what to do." I nodded once. "Okay, but the trip stays on hold." Dana's eyes flashed. "That's not okay." Then she turned and stomped down the stairs like a teenager. When I came back inside, Leo was standing with his arms crossed, trying to look older than he was. Emmy asked very quietly, "Are we still going to have spring break?" I took a breath. "We're going to have our spring break." Leo's eyes softened. Just us, I said. "And whoever treats you like you matter." Emmy nodded slowly. Then she did something that almost broke me. She walked over to her toy shelf, grabbed a small plush bear, and held it out to me. "Here," she said. "You can have this, so you don't feel poor." I swallowed hard. I sat down on the floor, took the bear gently, and pulled her into my arms. "I don't need your bear," I whispered into her hair. "I need you to know you're not less than anyone." She hugged me tighter, like she understood more than I wanted her to. Dana didn't take the video down. Instead, she doubled down. She reposted it with a caption that made my stomach turn. Teaching my kids compassion. Not everyone understands generosity. Comments poured in from strangers praising her. She loved it. My mom loved it too, in her own way, because it made Dana look good. But something else happened. People who actually knew us started noticing. Marissa texted me a screenshot of a comment from one of Dana's old classmates. Wait, aren't those Greg's kids? Why are you calling them poor? Dana deleted that comment fast, but it was too late. The next day, my Aunt June called me. She was my mom's older sister, the one nobody argued with because she had that quiet authority that didn't need volume. I saw the video, she said. I braced myself. Aunt June sighed. I want you to listen to me. You did the right thing. I exhaled slowly. Thank you. She paused. Gregory, how much was that trip? 6,000, I admitted. Aunt June made a sound like she was biting back a curse. And they let her do that to your children. I didn't say anything. Aunt June said, keep it on hold. I will, I said. Then she added, and if anyone tells you you're overreacting, send them to me. That was the first time in days I smiled for real. The fallout didn't come like a dramatic movie scene. It came like a slow leak. Missed calls. Voicemails that started angry and ended desperate. Dana's tone shifted over the week. First she was furious. Then she was wounded. Then she was bargaining. Okay, Greg, let's just move on. Mom wants us to talk. The kids didn't mean it. Then finally, can we at least keep the trip? We already planned around it. I didn't respond because I already said what needed saying. I wasn't their backup bank, and I wasn't going to buy my kids a front row seat to their own humiliation. 2 weeks later, Dana's video disappeared. No apology. No explanation. Just gone. My mom called like it was a victory she'd arranged. She took it down, my mom said like she deserved credit. Okay, I replied. My mom waited like she expected me to say, great, so we can all pretend nothing happened. When I didn't, she snapped. So, can we move forward now? I kept my voice calm. The trip is still on hold. My mom's voice went sharp. Gregory, you are being stubborn. No, I said. I'm being consistent. She started to talk, but I cut her off with the only line I'd been repeating in my head for weeks. I won't fund a family my kids aren't part of. Then I ended the call. Spring break came anyway. And here's the thing nobody tells you. When you stop pouring your money into people who don't respect you, you don't suddenly feel rich. You feel lighter. I didn't rebook some luxury trip. I didn't try to prove anything. I took the money I'd protected and did something quiet with it. I requested time off, just 3 days. I found a small cabin about 2 hours away. Nothing fancy, but clean, with a little kitchenette and a porch. We packed sandwiches, board games, and Emmy's rainbow shirt. Leo brought a sketchbook. Emmy brought her stuffed rabbit and the plush bear she'd try to give me. The first night, we sat on that porch with cheap hot chocolate from the grocery store. The air smelled like pine. The world felt still. Emmy leaned against my side and said, Dad? Yeah. Are we a family, even if Grandma is mad? I looked at my kids, really looked at them, and I felt something settle deep in my chest. We're a family, I said. Always. Leo nodded once, like he'd been waiting to hear it. The next morning, we went to a small local park. Emmy played on the swings. Leo climbed a rock wall and laughed when he slipped because nobody was watching him like he was an inconvenience. On the last day, Emmy asked if we could donate some toys for real. Not for a camera, not for performance, just because she wanted to, so we stopped at a community center on the way home. Emmy picked a few toys she didn't play with anymore and placed them in the donation bin carefully, like they mattered. Leo added a couple books. No ring light. No captions. No smug speeches. Just 2 kids choosing kindness without being used. When we got home, I opened my phone and saw a new message from Dana. It was short, so you really aren't rebooking it. I stared at it for a moment. Then I typed back one sentence. No, the money stays with the people who treat my kids with respect. I didn't add anything else. I didn't need to. That night, we ate dinner at my small kitchen table. Emmy drew a picture with 3 stick figures holding hands under a crooked sun. She wrote, in her careful handwriting, me plus Leo plus Dad. I taped it to the fridge. And for the first time in a long time, My home felt like the kind of place nobody could take away. Not with a joke, not with a video, not with guilt, just quiet, steady belonging. Top of form, bottom of form,